Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. As Maddie said, my name is Morgan. Thank you for that speech about fishing, Daniel. I'm actually not very good at fishing, but maybe with some of your tips and more information, I'll be able to apply that and be a better fisherwoman. Anyways, how many languages do you guys think are in the world right now? Spoken languages. Just kind of think in your head, it's more of a rhetorical question. Maybe a couple hundred, a couple thousand. There's actually over 7,000 spoken languages in the world right now. 7,000, that's a lot. So if you wanted to be able to communicate with every single person on this planet, that's a lot of languages to learn. And even if you dedicated the rest of your life to mastering languages, how many do you really think you could master in that time? Maybe 5, 10, if you're really smart? No matter how much time you dedicated in your lifetime to learning languages, you would never be able to learn all of the spoken languages in the world. There is one universal language that we all speak, regardless of the language that you speak out loud verbally or where you were born. It's what we call our body language. So as you guys know, you've probably heard a lot about body language before. Body language is the way that we communicate with others through nonverbal cues, either consciously or subconsciously. So sometimes we can think about the way we're using our bodies. Right now I'm thinking about using my hands. And other times it's things that we do that are actually coming off as offensive to the people that we're communicating with, and we don't even realize it's happening. Understanding your body language and how it's going to help you in your relationships moving forward, whether it's at work or at school with your friends, would really help you not only improve your relationships, but advance you in your careers and whatever else you plan to do in the future. First example. Well, I don't have a prop, but let's pretend I do. See if you can guess this one. This is an inappropriate use of body language. Oh, yeah, what'd you say? Oh, okay. Yeah, oh, that's right, yeah, Oh, give me 1 second, hello? This is using our phone when we're talking to other people. Now, we all do this, myself included, and we are usually not aware of what it looks like to the people that we're talking to. We're having a conversation, maybe I'm talking to Maddie, but someone's calling me, someone's texting me, and I feel the urgency to respond to my phone. We always have our phones on us. But what does that say to Maddie? It says that I don't really value our conversation at the time, that my phone is more important. My phone is more important, and whoever's calling me, whoever's texting me, is more important than the conversation that I'm having with her at the moment. And what is that going to do for our long-term friendship? Maybe she doesn't trust me anymore. Maybe she's not going to go out of her way to talk to me or ask me how my day was. So what can we do to prevent this common flaw that we all have in conversation and in our relationships? One thing we can do is ignore our phone. If we see that our phone is ringing or there's a text message, chances are it can wait a couple of minutes to answer it. Or if it is an emergency, apologize to the person that you're with, to your friend, to your colleague. Let them know, hey, I'm really sorry, I have to take this call really quick. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Let them know that you recognize their presence and you want to have a conversation with them, but that you're not completely ignoring them. Another use of body language that can be a mistake is the way that we position ourselves when we're talking to people. So sometimes when we're really distracted and we're doing other things, and this happens oftentimes to me too when I'm here at Toastmasters, I might be setting up the camera and I'm focusing on a lot of things, and someone comes up, hey Morgan, how are you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good, how are you? I'm still over here, so my body is now faced this way, and the person who wants to talk to me is in front of me. Whenever you're not directly facing the people that you're talking to, it makes them feel like your conversation with them is not as important, and that you're not showing them respect by showing them your full face and your full attention. And again, another way that we can hurt our relationships and not be able to show people the way that we really feel about them and that we are interested in what they have to say. One way that we can resist this temptation to turn our bodies away from the people that we're talking to is to either stop what we're doing or ask the person if they can maybe follow up with us in a couple of minutes when we have the chance. Again, letting them know that you acknowledge that they're there, but also that you don't really have the time at the moment to give them 100% of your attention. One last mistake that we often make in our body language is with our hands. So there's a lot of things that we can do with our hands. We can either hold them in front of us, we can use them to express ourselves when we're talking, maybe behind us. Sometimes people feel comfortable this way, or even crossing our arms. There's so many things we can do with our hands. Universally, showing our hands to people is a sign of trust. When people see our hands, for some reason subconsciously, it makes us feel like we can trust them more. So instead of the common mistake that people use of either putting their hands behind their back when they're standing, just because it might be comfortable, or even when you're at a desk, and instead of putting your hands on the table, you put your hands underneath the table. All of these little details, while they seem very minor, show us that show the person that we're with, that we're talking to, that we might have something to hide. So this, behind our back like this, shows that there's something to hide and that we can't be trusted. So when we start to keep these things in mind, we start to remember the way that other people are receiving our nonverbal communication. So now that you know these little tips and tricks and things to look out for with your body language, don't just let these 5 minutes go in one ear and out the other. Really think about how you can communicate and answer the one question that the people in your life are trying to get you to answer. And that's to say, I care. You can do that without words, and you can show that with your body alone. Thank you.